What's happening, everybody? Welcome in, welcome in. We're going to be doing something a little crazy tonight. Just a little craziness. So, welcome to the Paint with Josh Show, everybody. Of course, we're not ready. Why would we be ready? It doesn't make any sense. We're never ready. So, I'm going to show you exactly what we're going to do in order to make this little portal scene kind of look like some Olympic rings, and it's going to be pretty neat, if you ask me. So, let's see, just like that. Perfect. You guys got to let me know where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwiches? We're going to have a good old time. Let's see, we've got our canvas. You can see my circles have already been pre-done. Took my 8-inch cake pan, right? Just a normal old cake pan. Made my circles with acrylic so we'll know right where to line it back up and make our portals out of it. Now, I took my canvas, it's all blacked out, covered it in liquid clear, and now we have to wipe off that excess clear, right? You don't want to have too much. So we put a little bit of pressure onto the thing. If it starts depositing too many bits, it's okay. Fold it over, you got a fresh paper towel, wipe them off, right? Paper towel varies on what brand you're going to use. Has different. Some have more bits, some have less bits. I like the Viva brand paper towel, that real soft one, because it doesn't tend to shed as much as all the rest of the colors do. All right, let's see. We got a little blue. We got some crimson. We're going to have black and white. We're going to have purple and crimson from the Meeden set. And we're probably going to have some sap green, I think, is what we're going to go with. So if you're keeping track of colors, that's what we're going to do tonight. And it's going to be pretty neat. So stick around. Basically going to do a 5-portal piece in the shape of the Olympic ring, since tonight is the Olympic opener. And then I might just try to catch a little bit of that in between two shows. So, I think we're going to get enough. Let's take an old, nasty, shabby brush that we don't mind getting all sorts of color on. And since we've prepped our canvas with the black, then let it dry, then put our circles, then let them dry, then put it in clear. Now that our clear is nice and wet, we have to come in and add our colors, right? We're going to be needing one more color. Just the one I want to start with is the one that we don't even have on the palette at the time. That's not it. Hey, there it is. A little bit of Indian yellow, guys. Indian yellow on the old palette. You could have thought that I would have been ready by the right time. Never. Always something conspires to make us not ready. Let's see, over here, over there. So, guys, are you excited about the Olympics? Are you going to be watching? What's more of your favorite, the Winter Olympics or the Summer Olympics? Right? Because I have a definite answer. I really prefer the Winter Olympics. I don't know, something about the cold and the snow and the ice skating and the snowboarding and all the fun stuff and the skiing and all that, right? Or are you a Summer Olympics kind of person? Or you like the diving and the rowing and all the stuff? I think we got enough sap green right here. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go into our Indian yellow first. We're going to cover our whole little exterior of our portal, our first little guy, in a little of our Indian yellow. Just with a 1-inch brush, just because we're dumping on some color. Doesn't have to be perfect, right? Just getting it around so it will interact with our white paint when we start to put it in there. And we can actually do that whole sky. Be a little yellow circle up here, right? Just filling it in with our Indian yellow. Poof! All we gotta do. We don't want to lay it on so thick that it can be seen real terribly, right? So we can blend it out, and the more that you blend it, the more and more it goes away. You can't really see it so well. Come in here to our sap green. This should be a cool one, guys. Gonna go around the exterior of our sap green line. Just a little bit. We're gonna crisscross in between, even though that we may not use them in between. Still want it around. A little bit of our green, just so it will expand around the color. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gotta overlap a little bit, obviously. There we go. Doesn't need to be a perfect green circle, but it should overlap a little, and that way it'll crisscross as we start doing our little blendy deals, right? Gonna get a different brush, grab a little bit of our blue, go around into the blue. Now the reason we're doing the blue with the yellow And the green is they're all complementary colors, and they'll all sort of complement themselves. Even if the color starts to blend together in some sections, it will still look good, right? If you try to do it red over the green, you start getting brown bits, which isn't what you want to start happening. Right? A little bit of our blue back in here. When they start interacting too much, especially with the red and green color, it'll turn brown. And then it's no longer either of the two colors, it's neither of the two colors. Let's get a little bit more of that green. Throw some of our green in here. We're literally making it up as we go. Never done a quintuplet portal, I guess you would call this guy. A quintuplet of portals over there. Use one more brush. And let's go into our Madder Carmine, or the Crimson from the Meaden set. You don't need a whole lot of the Meaden set because it's such a more of an oily, wet color that it spreads on there a little easier than our thicker Bob Ross and Winsor Newton and Gamblin 1980 colors do. Oh, gonna be gorgeous, you guys. Now, hopefully we'll be able to see our lines still so we can go back and know where to put our little portal. We'll spread this guy out. Just spreading that reddish color in there. A little bit of it up into our sky. In different places it'll crisscross. Like here it'll be purple. Oh, just be fantastic. Such a cool idea. Only the Portal King can bring it to you. It's like the Tiger King. I'm the Portal King. We'll bring it to you. And that should look really neat. Right now, what's our last color going to be? We're going to go back to our bluey brush, which is this one. And we're going to hit it with the dioxazine purple. Oh, the purpley bits around this guy. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. That purple is such a deep, dark purple, which goes so super vibrant when you crisscross it with the white. It's just going to be so awesome. So awesome. And again, complementary colors over here. Not like if you were to put the purple and the yellow together. Don't really make such a pretty mix, right? But the purple and the pink, ooh, I like it, says a lot of people. Over here, fill that guy up. Fabulous. Should look pretty good. All we need to do is get our undercolors on there, and then we can start to figure out what it's going to look like as we light it up, right? So, right now, probably looks like a 4-year-old did it, which is perfectly fine. We're never going to see those bits again. Never to be heard from again. G.E. Kincaid. I've been watching a lot of Ancient Aliens recently. It's been a whole Ancient Aliens day today. Alright. Got this. Get it all cleaned up, and then we're going to use our white paint and really show you something fantastic. So I hope you're ready. And I hope you appreciated seeing the setup bit, right? A lot of people ask me, how do you do the prep part? Here it is, guys. This is how we do it. And this is a lot of times why we cut these parts out of the videos, because it's a little boring to me. If you want to know, you know what we need to? Oh, I just cleaned off this brush. It's fine. A little bit more of my purpley color down here, just so the majority of our canvas is fully covered up. Right? A little bit of our yellow over here too. Just because we want it all to be covered. There we go. Gorgeous, right? Can't really tell, and when we all brighten it up, it's going to go away and look much darker than you think it might be, as long as we're using our transparent colors, right? Those transparent colors are the ones that stay dark, versus if we were to put the super bright cadmium yellow up there, it's so bright, you wouldn't even be able to see the white line in there. You just wouldn't even be able to see it. So, this guy, that guy. Now remember guys, I do this for a living. This is what I do. I paint, I teach painting, and every so often one of you guys will grab one of my paintings right off of my website. This one is the very first thing you'll see when you go to the website. It's got the Olympic rings, today's date on it, 15 by 30 inch Pro Series canvas, which could be yours if you wanted to. Go to paintwithjosh.com. Very first thing you're going to see. Let's grab a little bit of our white and let's get started. We're going to need our little portal thing. Right, so with a pan or a paper plate or the top of if we had a bigger canvas, the top of an old maybe pot that you don't use anymore that's got a handle on it, right? All these things usable for portals, okay? This was my very first one that I had made. Zip. It's just like this guy. right? I took my bucket, I put it over some cardboard, I cut it out, I put some stickers on, I made my own little handle. And then I found these at Michael's. They're like little cake top or cake board thingies that you sit cakes on the top of. Perfectly cut to circles. So I'm gonna start making some Paint with Josh portals out of these guys, and we'll put them in the store for a couple bucks. And you can get one, and then you'll at least be able to see how I made it. You can start making your own, right? So we'll get a little bit of our white. We're gonna grab our portal up over here. We're gonna start from left to right, I guess, and just work through it, okay? Right in between my predetermined circle, which was measured out, okay? I measured it from side to side, the inside gap, so it was perfectly all the way across. It's a 30-inch canvas, 8 by 8 by 8, that's 24 inches. And then you got that guy that makes up your 30, right? So, gotta measure it out. Let's get up here. And otherwise it's just not gonna look right. We'll go very softly around our yellow. It's gonna cut through our green and turn. Come over here. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Look at that color push. Bing! Now, I don't want to pull these guys out like we normally do with our portals. We're just going to leave them crisp lines like that. Oh, fabulous. Okay, let's see what we can do with this white on our green circle, and then we can decide where we're going to light everything up, right? As we come through, again, with all of our colors already predetermined, I don't really want to hit the red with the green. I'm going to place it in there just perfectly. Come through. Oh, it got the piece of the blue in there too. That's not the prettiest thing I've ever seen. All the way around. Holding it so it doesn't move. Bang! That's your whole next little green circle, you guys. Woo! It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Look at that thing. Look at those colors come out. Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing, you guys. So remember, if you're watching over on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. Just one. All you got to do is hit the thumbs up button one time. If you're watching over on TikTok, you better be tapping that screen so fast that your finger's just vibrating. It's going so quickly. And if you're watching over on Facebook, make sure you use a little thumbs up and all the little emojis at the bottom. And don't use them too often, because it'll actually stop you from using them if you use them too often over there, right? So every once in a while, get a couple little taps on those emojis. And that's what I like to see. We're going to line this guy up right there. Sweet. And go around his blue side and cut through. It's going to go into the pink. Oh, gorgeous. Into the green. Oh, gorgeous. It's fantastic. Oh, gorgeous. There we go. Boom. Oh! Now, what we do inside here, right, we're going to be plopping bushes and different things. So don't worry about your lines overlapping. Okay? Let's get our last of our lines down, and then we'll at least know where we need to be. And then, oh, this red one is hard to see, baby. Oh, I see it. There it is. There it is. And, yep, perfect. Perfect. Right there. And a little bit. Right there. Sweet. Along the edge. Perfect. Just how we had planned it. All right. Now we'll get up in here and go through the pink. And the blue, and the purple, and the pink, and the blue, and the purple, and all the way around. That's a gorgeous one right here. Woo, baby. I love it. I love it. A little bit more paint. All right, we'll hit our last guy in the purple zone. The purple zone as we come out here, plopping down, making sure our spots are just about right. Right over there, over here. Gorgeous! Okay, there we go. Go through this spot. Fabulous. Perfect. Around. It's amazing. We're not going to move it. We're not going to go anywhere. We're going to go right around it. Pow! Right? Now. Oh, it's amazing. It's fantastic. And we had one little spot where we had a little bit too much brightness. Try to grow. Oh, that's all right. It's all right. We're going to put a big old tree there anyway. I'll put a big old monster tree right in there. Get my line just right again. Thank you very much, Mr. Paper Towel. All I'm trying to do is remove a small little bit of color right there. Just a little touch. Littlest of little touches. Boom! That's it. That's all I want. One little piece out there. Yeah. And we'll probably throw a big tree over it, make you look right at that one mistake the whole time anyway. Right now that our portals are all set, we can put our portal off to the side, and let's start deciding what we want our colors to look like. Should we work from right to left? Should we work from left to right? You guys let me know. What do you think? Because I've already got some purple on the brush. I mean, we could start over here, but if you want to start over here, you just let me know. Oh man, that looks cool. That looks cool from back here, guys. JS, just saying over here. Looks pretty stinking neat. I almost have to move you guys back just a little further. There we go. Now you can see the whole thing anyway. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. We say left to right. Let's go left to right. Let's do left to right, guys. Okay, we'll go left into the yellow circle. And let's say, we haven't done one of these in a while. What do we get? It's a good chance to show off the Paint with Josh filbert brush that comes in the Paint with Josh set. It'll be available in about a couple months. Let's pop, you know what? Let's do a little bit of our brightness first. A little touch of white, right up here, just like a little X shape. Just a little thing. Just a little pupper up there. And we're gonna come up and start really mushing on it hard. And you can see with the wet surface that the paint wants to dissipate and go away, right? That's what we want it to do. We want it to blend away with all that dark yellowy paint that's underneath it. Now we'll take our Paint with Josh filbert brush. We're gonna push in, we're gonna go flat, we're gonna rotate into a circle, and the more that you go around, the more circular it will be. Just like that. And that gorgeous little moon out there in the night. Best part about Paint with Josh brushes, you can use them with oil paint and with acrylic paint. Probably with watercolors too. I haven't tested them with watercolors, but probably too. They're going to be the most versatile brush you have ever seen. Used with all sorts of paint and stuff. Okay, let's get a little bit of our white onto our brush. Let's pop in a few little bits of just bits of clouds, right? The more brightness that we have, especially against all that other brightness, you gotta have it a bit brighter, which is why we blend it out. So it gets darker and darker as it gets bigger, so you can then come in with a new bit of brightness. Grab a hold of this guy, not try to go outside of our little portals at all. Right, I'm gonna stay inside. It's nice in there. Right down like that. The more you blend it, the softer and softer the little clouds get, right? Now, let's say we'll go in here, mix up a little bit of our 3 favorite colors to make up Paint with Josh plaque. Now, what are those 3 favorite colors? Does anybody know? Does anyone out there know the 3 favorite colors that we need in order to make up Paint with Josh plaque? P-L-A-C-K. It's like a purple black. P-L-A-C-K plaque. What do you think we need, guys? Come back and read some comments. Let's see. Blue, black, and crimson says Sabrina. Watching from Georgia. Thank you. Lightning in the portals would be awesome. Definitely one of them is going to have some lightning. That's a good idea. Blue, black, and crimson says Shells detects. Dig it, right? Now, we've all mixed up all of our color. We're going to go back into a little fan brush again. And where's the Paint with Josh fan brush? Where are you? Is this you? I think this is you. Okay, we're going to come in right in here. Now, the Paint with Josh fan brush is kind of like an acrylic-y fan brush. It's more of an acrylic-y fan brush than anything you've ever felt. So you're going to want to load it up a little bit more than you think you need. And it'll come in and start popping in literally the sharpest of trees you've ever seen. Right? All we're doing is popping up a little bit of darkness in between all of that bit of light. You don't need to see every single piece of light out there. You're never going to see all the bottom of all the clouds, right? Our background is going to cut into all that light and cut it away. Right? Bam! Just like that. Gorgeous, guys. Okay, let's take our Paint with Josh 2-inch brush. Come in here, very lightly, dragging it, very soft, very soft, very soft, right? Not trying to get too much. It seems like I must have flicked the moon up there for it to be that bright down around the bottom. But it's okay, it will easily blend away, like you'll never notice it again, okay? Now, let's come in, we'll grab one of our brushes. This one already got some color on it, so we'll start dabbing down a couple little bits, not trying to over-cover that bit of our ring too much. But all we're trying to do is soften this layer, right, with a little bit of paint. And that way, it'll look like it's got a little bit of misty fog happening off in the distance, right? Now, we're going to have to lose these inner parts of our rings no matter what we do, because it's going to be covered by our background and stuff. So why don't we take a bit of our white onto this guy, and let's just think. In order to keep it inside, why don't we put a bit of water off back like this? Just pull it down, and straight down back there. We might even be able to keep the other ring as well. We just kind of pull a little bit, just straight down on our brush. You got to come back in with a more sturdy brush, right? And then wipe it down a bunch of times. Lots of paint, lots of pressure, lots of reps, right? Over to the side, very lightly, trying to stay inside of our portal without going outside of it. And now we've got a bit of glossiness across there, right? So we could take our bit of glossy, take a bit of white, throw it back off in here like it was a faraway little water line way out in the distance out there. Right? Now, we can go in front of this guy, grab our fan brush again. The old Paint with Josh fan brush is a perfect example. We're going to make the most awesome, sharpest little branchy bits you've ever seen. And come over here. Let's say we're going to lose this guy anyway. Let's put our tree in right here. Just about as tall as the moon. Come right down into here. And just with the corner of the brush, pushing against it, right? The more we go, the more you get these crazy little things, and they'll pop out. There'll be these odd little branches out in the night. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. Now, let's get our little bushy brush, and we can pop in all sorts of craziness off of our little bushy brush, right? Paint with Josh bush brush, another fantastic invention from Craft Ammo. Popping it around. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to leave some of the ring or cover over, because we could cover over it and dangle down. But if we're going to dangle down, we first need to have just a bit of color. So we had a bit of cloud up in here, right? And we can decide what we want it to look like. By the time that we get back up here and we don't like it, then we can dangle over it, or we could keep the cloud and keep the rings separate, right? But first, if we're going to have anything, we gotta have something there in our background so we can drop the darkness over. If you just drop it over its own dark self, then what's gonna happen? Nothing, right? Very cool. Very neat. We're gonna put a little bush on the other side too. Gonna be gorgeous, you guys. A little bit over here. The Paint with Josh bushy brush. It's actually the Paint with Josh round, but we'll call it the bushy brush. I like that. A little bit. Let's pop a couple little right in here. Pow! Now we got our foreground separated from our background. Very simple little scene. Right? Now we'll come in and highlight that guy with some yellowy bits. But first things first, we need some of our liquid white out of our jar and into our little petri dish. If you've never seen the petri dish before, this is what it looks like when it's empty. It's foul. Just as something's got to be growing in there by now, right? So what I do is I kind of take my knife, get my liquid white a little bit, get a little runny, scoop it out, and then tap it into my little petri dish, which is just an old lid. Just an old lid of an old liquid white jar that we had. That's all it is. Now, you need the liquid white or some form of thinning agent, okay? These paints are very firm and very dry, and so we need to thin them down somehow, either using liquid white, which is very runny and wet, or linseed oil, or odorless mineral spirits, or liquid clear, or olive oil, or something. Get something to make them less chunky and less firm and condensed, right? And that way, they'll deposit off of our brush and onto our more condensed paints. Much easier, right? We get a little bit of our liquid white, basically turning our icing paint into more of like mayonnaise. Okay, so we'll come over here. Let's get into the yellowy color. A little bit of our yellow. We'll tap it down onto here. And let's say we popped up, since this guy's our little yellow guy, we'll pop up a couple little bushes here, a couple little bits there. Right? Not every little piece has to be bright. Doesn't all have to light up. As I keep lighting up more areas, it doesn't all have to light up. Just has to be there. And we're trying not to cover all of our dark spots. That's our goal. Don't cover the dark spots. If you cover up all the plaque that we put up there, then there's no depth inside those bushes, right? They're just too flat. Now, let's get our smaller of the Paint with Josh fan brushes. Ha ha! I found you. I've been looking for you. Now we're gonna come in here and get a little, just a touch. We're gonna start rotating our colors around here. Get a little of our green, and our liquid white, right? We don't need too much liquid white, so wipe that crap off of your brush. A little of our green. We don't want to have it too greenery, a little of our yellow as well. Don't want to have it too green or too bright. Come up here and start oh my heck, look at the deposits that come off of this Paint with Josh brush are so small and so fine. Oh, if that's not the most fabulous tree I think we have ever done as a group, guys. We together as a group have never made a more fabulous looking tree, and you want to know why? Because we use the Paint with Josh brushes. The Paint with Josh brushes. The most versatile, most just excellent looking brush out on the market, if you ask me. First portal, donezo. Gorgeous, guys. It turned out fantastic. Now, did we want to dangle over into our next one or not? What do you guys think? I kind of like it how it's kind of contained within its own little self. Right? It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to overflow. I kind of like how it's contained in there. Leave it contained. We don't want them overflowing or interacting. You guys are boring. Thanks, Mac. I love you. Blue lace dragonettes? Dragon teas? Dragantes? Thank you guys all for watching. Make sure, remember, if you're watching over on YouTube, make sure you give me a thumbs up over there. It really helps more than you know. What are we going to put in this little guy? I would say, since we've got some of this plaque out already. All right, let's rock through. Let's make the high point of our trees actually in the center of this guy, since that's its sort of deal, right? We'll rock down, covering over some of our clouds. Right? The Paint with Josh brush, just the most finest, sharpest, little craziest brushes on the brush market today. Just a little nuts. All right, we'll tap it in the darkness, right? We have to have that cloud back there first, though. Boy, oh boy, you don't want to do it the other way around. Take our 2-inch brush, very lightly, softly, up into the thing. Dragging up a few little bits is okay. We don't have to worry about it too much. Now, there's the old soft and flop. Paint with Josh, number 1-inch brush. We're going to come in here. We're just going to start tapping at the base of these guys. Right? It may not look like it's doing anything because we don't have any paint on our brush. Right? We're just kind of tapping at it, tapping at it, tapping at it. What it's doing is mixing in that darkness with the green paint that's underneath. Each time we tap, mix, 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 mix. Right? Now this guy, ooh, I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. What if we had a little river? Right? What if we came back like this? But this guy's little river. Just gonna come down with little straight shots. Right? Far off in the distance. Not dissimilar to this guy. That could be a river, minus our water line off in the back. That kind of declares it to me as a lake. But everyone's a little different, right? Come in here again. Lots of pressure, lots of reps. Rolling it down, especially if we're not going to have these guys fall out of the portals and we're going to keep them contained. We got to have just a little bit of something back in here. Now that we've got our lighter color, let's say we go back into our green, a little bit of our yellow. Pop it down here, load it up into our Paint with Josh brush. Tapping it in, and let's rock backwards up the side of our little hill, of our little trees, and we can drop in this little faraway hill that lives back in here just by tapping at it. Right? Tapping, a little bit of green off of my little bit of green. Keep the green off of the green, Josh. I know it's hard. It's difficult to do. Very cool. Pop in a little bit of hill, just like that. You want to be a little bit brighter? Add a little bit more yellow. Your brush, come back over. The more we go down with our little taps, the more fun it is. The more it'll blend in. You want to leave that little dark separator right there on the edge, okay? Now with this little guy, we can't really have much pop up because of our tree and bushes on this side, so we could go tree bush here. We could do like a sticky tree that would interact with this guy up here. You know what I mean? Or just pop some bushes in, like this guy, leaving the tree sans tree, right? We don't have to have a tree in every single one. Not everyone has to look perfectly perfect, right? But we do need a little bit more of our dark, shadowy mix of paint. So you guys gotta let me know, what are the 3 colors that go into mixing up Paint with Josh plaque? The deepest and darkest of all deep, dark colors known to exist in mankind's existence. You let me know. And in the meantime, what was I Oh, got the 3 colors, right. I'm totally lost. I'm coming with a couple little bushy bits. Again, we have to come up and up. Actually, let's go down, right? We don't have to be up and above on that guy. Right out here, in the night, right? Not everything has to be seen. Not everything has to be the same height or the same darkness or whatever. These guys want to pop out of their little portal. And I just love it. A little bit more of our coloration. And let's go. The green and yellow. Let's go a little bit. Let's go back to that yellowy color because I love it so much. Just so much. A couple little yellowy blobs, right? Not every bit has to be as bright. You want to save some of the darker pieces. Not everything's going to be as golden as everything else. Maybe we had a little bit, some pinky red kind of starting to sneak its way across the way over here. Right? They all start looking so neat. You don't want to do too many, that's for sure, because it can happen. Oh, I've almost forgotten. I've got all of these colors over here from our crazy deal too. Let's pop in some blue. Ooh, baby! What other color can we get from this other set? Oh, how about some pink, they say? Just toss in some pinky bits. Pop, 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 pop. Little babies. Little babies in the night. Fabulous. All right, let's get up into our blue guy. And we're getting a mountain of brushes that we're going to need to clean. We're amassing a large amount of brushes. I really like this one so far. I think we're going to fill up this whole section right here. Again, like we did with these guys. Right around the bottom, so it takes away those 2 lines. Those guys remain separate underneath. All the colors are staying separate, which is awesome. None of them intermixing too much. So we did one big moon, right? We could do a moon on this side. We could not do a moon. We could do farther away like little flat clouds, right? Just a little different shape. Same sort of idea, a little different shape. Come up there, grab the cloud, mix it down. It's real flat. Bang. Not trying to come out of the portal. It can be pushed on harder, make them look a little further away. However we want them to look is exactly how they're going to look. And watch this. If you didn't like your shape, right, push on a little harder and change it. It's all up to us, guys. Seriously, up to us. We get to choose what's happening out there now. Ooh, baby, that little bristle's going to irritate me if I don't get him out of there. Perfect. Okay. Let's come back. We've got our lots of plaque up here. So, what if, just bear with me now. I just want to do like an ocean scene on one of them. The blue is calling for winter, but I don't want to do, you can't fit a little mountain. I mean, you could. All right. All right. Well, you could, if you wanted to, you could pop in like a far away little bit of a mountain back in here, but the goal being not to use too much paint because it's going to grow like crazy, right? So it's going to be like the smallest little mountain that we've ever done. But if it can be done, Josh can do it. Out there in the night. Grab that guy with the paint on. Actually, that's dirty. So we'll grab a new brush. This one's not so bad. A new brush, we'll start to slide this guy out towards the side and down, taking it the other way too, right? There's not a lot of room for separate brush strokes here. And it looks like we need a little bit taller action in our peak. Just to have it stand out, right? A couple little bits, just so it's odd and different. Doesn't have to be the most perfect thing. Take that other brush. Guys, I've got nowhere to set anything down up here anymore. Just absolute nowhereness. Okay, now we got this very far away little mountain. Back in there. How are we going to color that little mountain? Well, normally, especially on a wintry blue scene, we're going to grab a little bit of blue, a little bit of white, work it down, blend it in, grab a little bit of our plaque, blend that in as well. We don't want it to be too dark. So try not to grab all the plaque, Josh. There we go. Gorgeous. Little dark blue gray color. All right, wipe our knife off so it doesn't get tainted. Grab a little bit more white, one little scrape of our dark blue gray color, and that way our white is going to stay supremely brighter than its blue counterpart because we only used a very small amount of the blue that we mixed up, not that blue. If we grab this blue, it's just going to turn into the same color again. Okay, so over here, let's grab a little bit of our shadowy mix. We'll go off, you know what, let's pop a little moon into this guy. Just a little baby moon. This guy's going to be a little bit smaller, so we're going to have to use a what's this brush called? Bomahia. Use that, guys. We plop our moon out there. It's a very small little brush, and you can see it'll be a much smaller little circle. Right like that. Gorgeous. Sometimes if you get that little dark spot in the center from the brush, just brush it away. It's all good. Fill it in. We're all set. Gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Right? Paint with Josh size moon. Little miniature size moon. There's not that much difference when you really think about it. Now, we've got to go shade our little guy down. Shade him down. So we'll come up here, whip off a couple little bits of our bluish snow. Just little pieces. We don't need them all to be exactly the same. There's a little ridge down in there. There's a little spot over here. Who knows where all of our little shadows are going to lie, right? Now, we'll take our brightness, and let's say the brightness came up. Start whipping down the little hill. It hits down here. It slides over there. We grab some up and drop it down over here, right? As long as it's on the knife and it wants to keep coming off, you do whatever you want to do. Over there, over there, over there. Right? Oh, I like that. That's fantastic if you ask me. Where'd that pink come from? I don't know, but I don't hate it. Over here, over there. Gorgeous. Cool little mountain. Simple, easy little thing. Right? We don't want it to get too big. We like to get too big very easily, okay? Come over here, grab up one of our old brushes again, start swiping it from the side like we always do. Every time we're doing a mountain, very light little touches. All we're trying to do is soften it for the next little round coming down. And then again, we've got to come back in and do our little tappy taps. This side we're kind of tapping to the side, this side we're kind of tapping to this side. Just making little bits, soft little things, right? Little area of mist, a little softer down in here for our next layer, right? Dude, we could almost leave these rings in there too. Serious as a heart attack we could. Let's come up here, start tapping in with our little Paint with Josh brush filled with our plaque color. See? No, that portal's behind. It's gotta go. It's gotta go, man. So we're gonna tap over that stuff. Eventually it's gonna all cover up that green section anyway. But the green portal is behind the other ones. Cover right over them. We'll never see them again. Right, same thing over here. We're gonna come in, we're gonna cut down. We pop a little tree up there. Not trying to go all the way up into the white snowy parts. When you try to get up into those white snowy bits, ooh, it is difficult. Does not like being up there. Right? Oh, fantastic. That one could just literally be all forest almost. You can literally call this one just a forest with a mountain in the back. My favorite kind. Tapping in, tapping in, tapping in. Oh, dudes. All right, let's get it a little bit crazier. Let's make a little bit of our misty fog. Right, so we get a little bit of white right in here. We can literally mix it up like a cloud because we've already kind of tapped down around the base of those guys. Mix it up. Where's your next little section going to come in? You have another little section of trees come in? Or do you have a bit of river? Do you have a bit of snowy path off in the background? We could literally take some of this snow and start sliding it out. Coming down from the hills. Get a little bigger, get a little flatter as it comes towards us, right? We don't need to get all the way close up to us because we know we're going to have some bushes and stuff to fill up our foreground space. We don't need to go too crazy. Just like that. Maybe you got this far away little hill, maybe you got a whole other one. It slides in from this side, right? Just a little snowy little thing in the background back there. Doesn't have to be water all the time. Doesn't have to be anything really. Now, I don't think we've got enough paint on the brush to throw in some chunky bits. Maybe on this side, but definitely not all over, right? Hey, just like that. Ooh, guys. Now, we got to make up a little bit more of our plaque. And I never like making it up too much of it as we go, right? Grab a little, give it a shot. You don't have to use your whole pile, because what happens if you don't use your whole pile? Then you got a whole big bunch of plaque that's either going to get tossed or eventually going to dry hard, because you know it's going to be too long before you go back and use it again. A little bit more. Now we've got our snowy stuff. Let's grab a big old tree and we'll put them in on this side. A little bit of our plaque, running it down through the Paint with Josh fan brush, which is again very much like an acrylic fan brush. So if you're used to acrylic brushes, the Paint with Josh fan brushes are going, and the rest of my brushes, are going to be very familiar to you, right? If you're used to the Bob brushes like I was before, These might seem like they're a little too thin, but clearly they work. You can see clearly now my brushes work. Adding a little bit of color on there. Let's go back. This is my favorite part. You don't always have to do blue shadowy bits, but let's get a couple. Let's get a couple of these little bugs in here. Just a few little bugs. Hey, a couple little bits of blue. Don't need too much. Bang. One more pop, right? Now we'll go into our white, our liquid white, and our titanium white to get that wintry feel, even though this isn't the Winter Olympics. At least I don't think. Come in very lightly, tapping on. Not trying to overcover things. Not every bush is all the same bush, right? You could have 2, 3 bushes in there. A nightmare to trim. It could happen. Hey, get all these little crazy things growing up out of the base of our portal off in front of our mountainous scene. It's fantastic. All right, let's see what we got. We got 3 more to go. It's only been 42 minutes since we started Get Out. Dudes, I like that. I like that. That's looking pretty cool. Looking pretty neat, guys. Remember, if you're watching over on YouTube, give me the painting sold. Hey-oh! Oh, baby. Who got this one? I gotta give it the old, hey! Oh, let's go, baby. I dig it. Who grabbed this one up? That's my question. Who are you? Who are you? They won't say, LOL. Ooh, okay. Let's see. We don't know. They haven't come forward on any platform. Oh, I see it over there on Facebook. Thank you, Cosmic. You're awesome. Dude, Corey, thank you for saying that. He says, honestly, watching you do live paint sessions encourages me to paint again. I'm still learning. Thank you so much. Dude, I appreciate you. This is, well, there's a lot of different products here. Initially, it's a canvas from Michaels. Then we're using our Bob Ross clear on it. Then we're using Bob Ross brand paints, Meaden brand paints, Gamblin 1980 brand paints. The white is from Winsor & Newton, so it's all brands, all types, all wet on wet. And that's fantastic that it already sold. That's cool. So let's get into our next little piece, our purpley section. I'm thinking if we have something like this off in the background, dude, we could have a waterfall interact at least once and roll over, guys. Guys, we could do it, but who knows? We could keep it all separate too. Let's have just a few bits. Maybe we pretend like these bushes kind of turned into the brightness of those clouds up there. Nothing has to touch or be crazy. Remember, it's all up to us and what we want it to look like. Blend it out a little touch, a little here, a little there. Not trying to have everything get too crazily big. Oh, guys, we could totally put a seascape in here. Totally put a seascape into this guy. Check this out. Just a little brush. Little brush. Little brush. Hello. Here we go. All right, we're going to try not to hit this other thing either. Let's go way over here, right? We'll just put a little crashy waver. Just a little baby waves. Right there. A little bit against there. A little bit. Doesn't even need to go all the way. Right? Now we're going to wipe off that same brush because it's tiny. We want that small little thing. Now we're literally going to use the paint that's on there to fill up the rest. Right? Didn't add anything else. A little bit out here. Just a little soft little thing. That's all we need. Okay, let's get our palette knife. And there it is. Got that. Got a little bit of our white paint. Let's come out here and start adding in a few little things. Scraping back. Dropping down. Scraping back again. Trying to leave little spaces where there's not too much of a gap. Right? So we don't need to have such a crazy gap there. Filling in on this side. Let it get a little darker, a little brighter. As it's rolling in towards the shore. Start scooting out a bit more. And a bit more. A bit more, and a bit more, and all of a sudden we'll have some really cool little waves, especially if we can make it look like it's wet. Pull down underneath these guys. Swipe away. You got your wet sand out there on the beach. Oh, baby. Oh. Look like water out there? Sure does to me. Sure do, Josh. If water was pink, you crazy old man. I know. I know, but a little bit more of that white. Dump it out over our little wet sandy beach area. Scrape it in a few times. Right? Get some water out there in the night. Very cool. Now let's go up for our top section. We'll do our last little purple deal. Oh, I like that, man. I like it. There we go. Make it a little more soft right there. Gorgeous. Olympic retreats. I dig that. That's cool. Yeah, good, cool place to go hang out after the Olymps, man. All right, let's get one more little bit of white. Do our last little section of clouds. Now, we've had flat clouds. We've had clouds that roll down. This one was kind of like up and down. This one's a little bit the same. So, dudes and dudettes, what if we did this, right? We'll have our Orion's belt thing. So it either needs to be a bit higher or a bit lower. We need to go higher. Let's pop in our little thing. A little bit of color. Come back with a sturdy old brush. Mix it up very well so it spreads out further than a cloud does. Right? Then we can go back in, pop in our little moonery. Just a little moonery. And because I need it to be this size, we're using that Bone Mejia brush again. Now, in Orion's belt, the two are very straight on a straight line, and then the third one kinks and goes either up or down depending on which way you're looking at. So, we're going to push it in up here. Rotating around a circle. Whoop. Gorgeous. Now it goes whoop, whoop, whoop. Just a little bit off that straight line with our Orion's belt reference. We do it all the time and no one even knows. Man, I've got a mountain of brushes to clean up. Alright, let's take this dude. Let's say if we had these crazy old little deals. Right, just a weird little bit of cloud that pops up like that. Might look like a little crashing wave if we can blend it out well enough. Right, softly, 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 leaving that space in between, pulling it back away from the color. So it goes back towards our little shadow. Right, maybe a little crashy wave of a cloud. Who knows? Doesn't have to be anything. Doesn't have to look like anything. We're going to go up and cover it anyway. So, pretty cool. Little things out in the night. Almost looks like a bird. Flying through that thing. Right, now that we've got that darker, lighter color up there, we gotta come in with the darkness. The deep, the dark. And, you know what I want to have another tree right here. Maybe something that, we could dangle out the edges too, guys. Like, instead of dangling into the portals, we could dangle them out the sides, but you guys have already made the decision, so I guess that's it. Let's come back in here again with the Paint with Josh fan brush, the sharpest, the most ridiculous fan brush you have ever seen. It's fan-schmastic. Just amazing. Take our 2-inch brush, again, very lightly, swiping it up. Boom, boom, boom. Light little drags up on it. Now we've got to get either the 1-inch brush, or this one's got green on it, so I don't really want to use that. You can use the Bob Ross 1-inch. It makes a good little bit of mist down in here. Right? Just by tapping it. All it's doing is intermixing the colors. Each time it grabs some of this white from right here off of this bit, it's intermixing it, blending it, having all that lighter color show up as our misty fog off in the background. Right? Now, we've got, we're going to do a river. We can do like a meadow. This one's got water and grass, so let's put one with just all grass, but let's do purpley grass. Purpley grass up your nose, guys. Over here. Holy shaving cream, it's purple grass. Up your nose. All right. Over here, a little bit of our white into our purpley bit. Excuse me, my ladies. As we come down, let's roll in from this side, and we'll start rolling up. Let's go right underneath that guy. Same little thing. Roll it up, go back down. Roll it up, go back down. Roll it up, just right underneath. Right underneath, right underneath, right underneath. We have to have that we tap into this little bit of grass way back here, the more like little bits of grass it's going to look like. It goes straight up your nose, okay? A little bit of our white, and this is what's going to be our little highlight color. Just a little highlight up here. Tap it down. Little things, maybe a bit of that moonlight is catching just right in there. Remember, the edges are not of concern because we're going to cover over all of them. But just by tapping in that odd shape, you've got this little hill that rolls down, flattens out. Maybe it goes up and over and down again. You never know. You never know until you get out there and paint it up. Let's get a little bit of white. See if we can't throw maybe a bit of pink in there. Check this out. Check this. We're going to have too much of it on our brush. Otherwise, it'll be too bright and too crazy. And just like that, we added a whole little field of depth in there. Right? Just a couple colors. Throw some grass down. I seriously have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 brushes to wash so far. But it's alright, we're going to barrel through. I think we can knock this guy out if we have a little more of our Paint with Josh plaque mix. Now, only the chosen know what the Paint with Josh plaque mix is. So, if you want to be part of the super squad, part of the chosen few, part of the elite, right? Then you gotta check the comments, because I guarantee someone's gonna spill the beans and tell you what 3 colors are inside Paint with Josh plaque, because you need them so badly. Okay, maybe we do 2 trees. Maybe we do a multitude. We do whatever we want. That's the best part about the whole thing, guys. Do whatever we want. You can have them be all 5 of the exact same scene, all 5 different colors, exact same colors, whatever you choose. Pow! All right, come in here with that Paint with Josh fan brush. The coolest, the sharpest, the neatest shapes you'll ever make with a fan brush. Let me tell you this, lads and lassies. But you're going to need a lot of paint on there to hold the bristles together. I'm just telling you right now, just so you know, right? What if we had a little bit of a... I just got to. We'll see how thin we can make this fallen tree from way back here, all the way, make it fatter and fatter. Bang! Right? Now all of a sudden, one of our sticky trees with all these branches is just fallen over, laid out into the side. Maybe we'll pop one more little guy. I don't want them to be the same size. Never. Never have them be the same size. Otherwise it looks like the Southern Oracle or something from, you guys know the movie. What's that movie? Night at the Roxbury. Yes! Okay, perfect. That was the movie. They had the Southern Oracle that Atreyu had to walk through the 2 statues. You got, yeah, it's Night at the Roxbury. That's perfect. I already know. It's amazing. Okay, we'll get over here. Anybody remember that movie? It's definitely Night at the Roxbury, I'm pretty sure. Just like almost positive. Almost positive. Thanks, Alchemist, bro. Let's come over here. We're going to tap up onto all of that dark color, right up against where our grass is. So we don't have to fill the whole thing. Because we know we're going to have these massive bushes anyway, right? So don't fill it all. Let's go back with our little liner brush. This will make 12 brushes. 12 brushes on this painting so far. A little of our odorless mineral spirits onto the Paint with Josh liner brush. The longest, thinnest brush, okay? Have to say that, because Paint with Bram's brush is longer, but it has more bristles, so it's not as thin. Come out in here. It's still fantastic, and I use it all the time. But as far as my contract goes, I have to promote the Paint with Josh brushes and make you feel like there is no other brush that exists ever. Even though, don't get me wrong, I still love Bram's brushes. I use them all the time in secret. Shh, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. All right, let's get the branches off. We got that down. My heck, we're going to have a lot of cleaning up to do. So I hope you guys are starting to come up with a title for this painting. And I hope our purchaser has one in mind or is going to check out the titles that you guys put forth and see what we should do. Now, let's go crazy pink. Oh, we got that other one. We got this whole other palette still. Still got the other palette over here. Okay. So let's go a little bit of our rose. Gotta love that rose color. Oh, baby. Is that rose is like our shadowy bit. It's literally called rose. That's the color. It's from Magic Fly, and they do seriously thin oil paints that you don't even need any liquid white for to use as your highlights, right? We're not adding any liquid white. It's just straight out of the tube. They're already this thin. Now we're going to go into that pink, right up into it, right? These guys are much more like acrylics. They are very like mayonnaise-like. And you're like, what are you talking about mayonnaise-like? So imagine all of our titanium white, right? Like we normally use our real chunky, firm, dry paints. Imagine those like, icing, right? You know that big thick jar of icing that you get in the fridge, you dig your finger in it. It's got a lot of body to the icing, right? Same thing with mayonnaise, right? The mayonnaise looks like there's a lot of body to it, but all you gotta do is smoosh it and flatten it and it spreads out on your bread, right? So that's how I've been trying to describe the differences in the kind of paints that we use. You need a very mayonnaise type for your highlights and a very icing type paint for your big thick shadows and stuff, right? Very cool. All right, let's get our last little fan brush loaded up one final time. We gotta go purpley. Where's my purple? Here we go. We go purple off the backside. We got too many palettes. Too many palettes, too many things going on. All right, a little bit of purple off my back shadows. All right, we're gonna come off of this guy. Just tapping on little baby bits with the Paint with Josh brush. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's just fantastic. They don't all have to just be on the left side. Remember, you can go back or you can kind of crisscross over and back. A little bit off of this guy's other side, just because of where his moon is, I would imagine. He's mooning us in this other side over here. That's all of our shadows off that side. Now, let's wipe off the brush. We got one final thing, so I hope we've found our purchaser. I hope they're ready to name their gorgeous painting, because where am I still holding this? I don't need that one. I need this one. There we go. This paint right here. Oh, this Madder Carmine with the liquid white. You don't need the liquid white for it to come off, so be careful. Right? Don't add too much. But it just brightens it up just enough to have the most gorgeousest of all trees known to exist. Just like that. Fabutastic. All we're trying to do, dump on a little bit of our pink color without covering every single bit. If we cover every single bit, then we don't have a depthful tree. We have a flat tree now, right? Because we covered it too much. We gave it too many highlights or too many shadows or whatever. You have to leave that darkness in there. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 brushes and a palette knife is what we use for this painting. That's insane. Oh, man. I like it, though. That's it. That's it. So, who is our purchaser? Thank you, Peggy. Appreciate you. Portals of Serenity. I do ship to Canada, Aaron. Appreciate that, Cosmic. Looks amazing. Olympic Seasons. Nature's Olympics. Dude, I like all these titles. You guys are nailing it. You guys are nailing it. So we got to find our purchaser, and then they get to actually choose the name of the painting. What's up, Tanya? I have done the Four Seasons, Rita. Funny you mentioned that. I have done the Four Seasons. Oh, farm. Oh, cool. Okay, so Farm Jess, thank you for your purchase. You're amazing. And what are we going to title your awesome painting? Is that going to be the title, AR01, or are we going to choose one of the viewers' titles? What are we going to pick as far as a title suggestion for this guy? Turned out literally fantastic. I don't think I could do it differently or do any one part any different than it's already done. Now, here comes the thing. I don't want to put 15 birds in the painting, so I'm going to sign it in our seascape, which has the least amount of noise, I guess you could say. So the least busy. So we'll put the 3 birds. It's flying through. Part of the old Paint with Josh deal. Now, let's put it on this side, just so they're both close together. Fabulous. Boom, boom, boom. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. fantastic portal scene. I love the Olympics. I can't wait to start watching it. 5 rings to rule them all. Oh, that's awesome. Is that the title? Or is that the one we're going with? All right. All right, we're waiting on a confirmation. 5 rings to rule them all. Oh, let's Season's ring. That's cool. Thanks, TMH. All right, that's the title. 5 rings to rule them all. God, I love Lord of the Rings so much. And 5 were given to the Olympics. Over here, gorgeous. Can we spell today? No, so it's a normal day. Number 1409. God, I can't even write today. 1409. There we go. 5 rings to rule all of them. Perfect. Now, this one was painted on 7/26/2025, and we're all going to go to paintwithjosh.com because it's not only the best website of all the internet, but it is. So get over there and check it out, man. Whoop! Gosh, this is a cool little portal piece, and only your boy Paint with Josh would think to bring the Olympics and the Olympic rings. Uh-oh. We can't do any more further surgery until we fix this. To bring the Olympic rings to life with his famous Portal series. What a guy. Thanks, universe. I appreciate you guys. All right, now I really have to clean off this immense pile of brushes. Tim, did I say 25, Tim? Oh, Tim, it must be Murphy's Law. Guys, we might have one. It must be Murphy's Law, Tim, and the Facebook and YouTube crew normally never see this, but as you can see, clearly, I did write 24, but you know Murphy's Law, Tim. It tends to get you whenever you're at your most vulnerable, right? Everybody knows what Murphy's Law is, of course. It's that law that says if something can happen, it probably will happen. In my case, it usually happens at the worst possible time. Like say you're carrying your grocery bag up to your apartment, all of a sudden you get that last step, boom, grocery bags fall out the bottom. You're like, why? One more step, I would have been totally fine. Now my milk's at the bottom of the stairs. You know what I mean? That's Murphy's Law. Have you ever heard of it? Tim, my guy Tim over here on, and Miss Mac over here. There's no way I can get Miss Mac with it. Miss Mac. All right, Miss Mac. I'm going to feel bad, but we're going to do it, Miss Mac. I know who Miss Mac is. Okay, Miss Mac. We might have said 2025, right? It might have happened. We might have said that. I mean, that we could go pull the tape. We really could go pull the tape and see. We might have said 2025, and that's okay. It's Murphy's Law. And you know Murphy's Law, Miss Mac. It's going to happen, right? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And usually it's when there's a ton of people watching that it usually happens. So, it's Mac's fault. You're killing me. You're killing me. Is Tim still here? Tim, I wanted to talk to you about Murphy's Law. Just if you've heard of it, and if not, then we're going to move on. And we almost had one. Almost had it. And then I think he's gone. So, in any case, I love you guys. I'm going to end the streams over on Facebook and on YouTube. You guys are fantastic viewers. Thank you for all the likes and all the comments. Dang, that dioxazine purple is serious. But you guys are always fantastic. I love you. I can't wait to come back and do it again on Monday night at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I don't even know what we're going to do, but it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see you there. Make sure if you're watching over on YouTube to check Facebook every day. I'm constantly putting out new videos. And guys on Facebook and on TikTok, check YouTube every day. I'm constantly putting out new videos. We posted the images over on Facebook, so if you're not following me over there, follow me over there. And until I see you two guys later, take care. Have the rest of a good day, and boom, you guys. It's been fun. I love you all. Can't wait to